Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. As you can see guys, I'm finally back with some gameplays. As you can see from the screen, I have a new phone and I got a Huawei. It's a better phone than my old one, and therefore I'm gonna start using it to record in-game gameplays. So for BTD5, Bloons Super Monkey 2, or eventually in the future even BTD6. I will wait though to download it because currently it costs €5 and I think it's quite too much. So I'm gonna wait for a sale of the game, and hopefully we'll be able to purchase it for less money or even for free. But yeah, so let's jump into today's topic. That is gonna be Bloonvasion. I received a comment a few days ago of someone complaining about one of my old videos where when the event first came out, I did all the videos, a lot of videos showing all the different attacks that there were, and showing just one gameplay completing all 50 rounds. So for those of you guys who don't know what Bloonvasion is, it's an online event. So you have to get internet to be able to play it, and it's a unique event because it has only 50 rounds. So all the rounds are different from normal. You got the camos or the rainbows, the ceramics, the mobs, all those kind of stuff that comes out in different rounds that normally, or even in master mode. So the Oh My God spawns at round 43, and then for round 44 until round 50 it's like free play. So a different amount of BFBs, mobs, Oh My Gods or ceramics are gonna spawn, and they change every time, so it's something that you cannot count. And on top of that, you're going to be restricted on using only a certain amount of towers that you can see in the right corner, the available towers. That again, these available towers change every 12 hours. So every 12 hours the rewards and the available towers are going to change, and yeah, so depending on the combination of towers that you get, the event is going to be easier or is going to be harder to complete all 50 rounds. So in this case, I've written down here from just by my past videos, I've written down all the different setup of towers that you can get. And after this, after like 5 attacks, the towers are gonna be the same. So the rewards are gonna be the same, and available towers are gonna be the same. So the gameplays and the strategy to beat that particular attack with that setup of towers is gonna be identical. All right. So the first setup, the first attack that there is with dart monkeys, snipers, ninjas, dart ring guns, and heli pilots. So that's the first one, and that's pretty easy to do because of the fact that you got dart monkeys that are very good early game. Then you got the ninjas that are good not only to pop camo, but as well to have a lot of popping power, piercing with the 4-2 upgrade, or if you want you can get the 2-3 upgrade or 2-4 upgrade to have more utility and more CC into the map. And then of course you got a heavy damage tower like the heli pilot. When you get the 4-2 upgrade, or even like the 4-0 upgrade, the Apache, it's pretty powerful and it's gonna deal a ton of damage to the balloons. And on top of that, if you want, you can get even some dartling guns, 2-4 or even better 4-2. Because the cool thing about this event is that you get a ton of cash. So after the free play rounds, so after the beginning of round 44, you start earning literally a ton of cash, and therefore you can really place a ton of towers and you can get a ton of upgrades. So that's cool. The second attack and the second setup of towers is with snipers, bombs, aces, helis, and engineers. In this case, the attack that is currently right now. Again, in this case, you got the engineer for the early game, and then you got the aces and the helis for the late game. Again, two heavy damage towers with both 4-2 and 4-2 upgrade, and just place a bunch of those and you should be fine. Then the third attack and setup is with dark monkeys, ninjas, super monkeys, apprentices, and spike factories. Again, with this attack, it's pretty easy to beat the 50 rounds because you got dark monkeys and ninjas for camo detection early game and overall CC to the balloons. But on top of that, you got the super monkeys, and therefore you can get temples, or you can get a ton of like sun gods or robot monkeys, you know, as you prefer, to do the main source of damage to especially like Zomai gods, BFBs. The fourth attack is with mortars, dartring guns, spike factories, engineers, and balloon shippers. So with this setup, it starts to be a bit harder to beat the 50 rounds. Early game, you got the engineer, so that's pretty powerful. But then spike factories are pretty useless here just because of how the track is built. Balloon shippers are useful for popping the mob class balloons, but then balloon shippers are not good to clean up, so to pop the ceramic layers and all the rest of the balloons. But luckily, you got the dartring guns that you can like change direction with your finger, or you can even get the special building and you can like lock them, focusing just one spot. And again, just spam a bunch of dartring guns, 4-2 mainly, so that you get a ton of damage, and therefore you have that poppage after the balloon shippers pop the mob class balloons. So again, this attack, it starts to be a bit harder, but still is manageable. And then there is the fifth attack and final attack and setup that is with snipers, boomerangs, apprentices, mortars, and balloon shippers. And this setup right there is the hardest of all, because you lack the heavy damage. You have the balloon shippers that are pretty good and to pop the mob class balloons, but then you lack the overall damage to pop and finish off all the ceramics, rainbows, and so on. So boomerangs, again, not really a very good tower in this map. Snipers as well, not really good. Apprentices, depending, you can get a bunch of 2-4 apprentices, so you get the a bit of concentrated damage, and you have the activated ability if you want to cover all the map, but it's pretty unreliable. And then mortars, so again, you can get a bunch of 4-2 mortars, but with the mortars you have to choose one spot, and they focus that spot, so that may be if the balloons pass those spots, then the mortars are not going to be able to do damage anymore, so that's bad. But yeah, so those are the 5 different attacks and setups of available towers that there are, and some of them are easier and some of them are harder. But I think that overall in this event, it's always preferable to have at least some kinda levels in the Monkey Lab. So Monkey Lab, I'm not asking, you know, I don't think that having level 13 in each of the lab upgrades is a must. You can beat this event even having less levels, but I think you should have at least some levels, you know, at least halfway through. So for example, level 7, that is pretty much half of the max level. I think that is already a good starting point. and surely it helps. So having a bit more of attack speed, a bit more of cash at the beginning, a bit more of lives, so you can afford to lose more, especially early game. Big Bloon Sabotage, again, very, very important for the last 7 rounds. And yeah, those are the main lab upgrades, you know. So the higher you get the level of the lab upgrades, the easier it is to complete the event. But I think at least like level 7 of lab upgrades is a must to be able to complete all 50 rounds with all the different setups. Then, as it is for special buildings, again, it helps if you have it, and normally you want to get the special building of the tower that you're going to use the most. So if you're thinking that you're going to use mostly to do damage to the balloons the Dartling Guns, go for the Dartling Gun special building. All right. Then if you instead you're going with the aces, then choose the ace special building, and so on. So the special building depends on like the tower and the strategy that you're going with. But again, if you're not using a special building, I think that you should be able to still beat the event. The special building is useful, especially if you're using it for like dark monkeys or engineers, because especially early game it's pretty hard to get enough towers to pop all the balloons in Bloonvasion, but yeah, it's not a must. So special building or not, you should be able to complete the 50 rounds of Bloonvasion. And then the last thing is special agents. I'm not really a fan of abusing special agents, but I think that in this event it may help again if you use for the early game like Tribal Turtles. So in that way you can save up some cash and you can get some upgrades, and in the meanwhile you're not losing any lives because the turtles are attacking and popping the balloons, and at the same time turtles can pop leads. So it's one thing less to think about, having lead popping power, so that's good. And of course, if you have the pro unlocked, the turtle is going to attack even faster and this is going to have even more popping power, so that's great. Then the Meerkat Spy, I think in this event is a tower that is very valuable because it gives all the towers in its radius a camo detection, and many times depending on the setup you may struggle with camo detection, and therefore a Meerkat Spy placed just for 2, 3 or 4 towers, so that those towers can spot and can pop the camos, can be useful. But I think the special agent that is the most useful of all is the Super Monkey Storm. This one is a lifesaver, and especially like when you are already going into more than round 35, 36 and so on, sometimes losing is pretty bad because you have to wait like some hours until you can replay the event again. So it's always good to have some Super Monkey Storms ready just in case, so that if you see too many balloons passing you can use it and you can wipe out the screen, and you can survive in that way. Again, the pro version of it, it's slightly better because it's going to give you a second wipeout of the screen, so you can damage the balloons 2 times. But that's pretty much it. I do think there are other special agents that could be useful in this event, and that's it. So that's my quick tutorial and strategy baseline of this event. Of course, I will not be showing you for each of the events a gameplay because of the fact that I have already done it in the past. You just need to go to my playlist, Bloonvasion, and watch the videos there. I covered every single one of the different attacks at least twice, I think. So you can go watch there any possible strategies. Of course, because of the fact that I got all the lab upgrades maxed out, I got all the special buildings, and I got a lot of special agents. You're gonna be seeing me in those gameplays using some special agents, using some special buildings, having all the lap upgrades on, and that's of course because in that way the gameplay is faster and it's easier to complete all 50 rounds. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.